All right, so after the wedding and the honeymoon is over, it could only be a matter of time before the glamour and dazzle of married life wears off. That's why, what?
But not for you, of course.
We're still in the honeymoon phase,
Yeah?
I feel like.
Okay.
It's only been 2 years.
All right, we'll give it another year.
Okay, check back in. That's why it's important to keep the friendship and the intimacy alive.
That's right. Here are some ways to bulletproof your marriage is relationship expert Dr. Patty Ann Tublin. Welcome here to CT Style, Patty.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Absolutely.
So getting married, I mean, for the bride and the groom, it's such a new experience. I mean, you don't just worry about yourself anymore.
You shouldn't just worry about yourself anymore.
I suppose.
That's where the problem might come in. No, but it's very exciting, and you really get caught up in all of the glitter and the glitz, and it's such, who doesn't love weddings, right?
It's true.
But it does wear off because marriage itself is not all honeymoon, rainbows, and
Butterflies.
butterflies and unicorns. That was the word I was
Gotta throw a
looking
unicorn
for.
in there.
Right.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest problems that newlyweds face?
Okay, so when you first get married, you first fall in love, you can't have enough of each other. And you want to be together 24/7. And that's a problem because it's very important that you maintain who you are as a person before you become a spouse. And if you don't, in a couple of months' time, all of a sudden you won't have your friends around and you'll have nobody else to do anything with. So it's very important to stay connected by being apart. And what I mean by that is stay with your girlfriends, have girl night out. And for the women, because we are the ones that don't allow the guys to have the guys' night out. And
That's
then
important.
it's very
You got to
important.
give the guys a little breathing room,
Their
right?
space,
Sometimes,
exactly, but
And
you
vice
need it
versa.
too.
Right, right,
Exactly.
right.
And then create new couples, relationships with new couples, so that you still maintain your old relationships while you're creating a new life together.
Now, do those change once you get married? You kind of develop new sets of friends based on the marriage and who you're hanging out with.
I
a
think
little
that
bit
definitely
more? Yeah?
changes,
Yeah.
yeah.
You do develop new sets of friends, but you should not forget your prior friends either. You have two
Song
sets
about
of friends.
Silver and gold.
That's right. That's
Not
right.
familiar.
That's right.
Oh, it's too bad.
Before my time, or
I
what?
guess
Yeah?
so.
Okay.
I guess so.
I'll have to Google that one. I guess, yeah.
But important, Penny, and to have a date night.
It's very important to
fresh,
have,
right?
Exactly. When you first get married and you're in the honeymoon phase, that's not a problem. But at least a year down the road, you turn around, you look at each other, you're like, we haven't been out together in like months.
Oh.
And then you begin to drift apart. So schedule a date night and don't have it be the same thing every week.
Dinner over and over and over.
At the same restaurant.
Well, what are some cool creative date ideas? Do you have any that you like?
Sure, you could go rock climbing. If the weather's good,
That'd be
you could go
perfect for you.
kayaking.
Another one for Teresa.
You can take lessons on cooking. There's a million different things that you could do depending upon what your interests are.
Okay.
See, that's creative. You got to
some
think
cool
out of the
tips.
box there, right?
Like Brandon, he's a very creative guy.
He certainly
He's
is.
a gentleman.
All right, communicate. I mean, that seems like a no-brainer, but sometimes that's what's missing in relationships.
You know, it is a no-brainer, but I will tell you, every couple I've ever worked with and couples I'm working with now, the main problem is always lack of effective communication. And what I mean by that is people usually don't have a hard time expressing what they want to say, but people aren't listening to what's being said to them. And that's where you have the fights. I told you this already. And the other person says, no, you didn't. Yes, I did. You weren't listening.
I feel like it's generally the guy that isn't listening. Is that always
No,
the case?
no.
You find women as well?
No, I have to cut you guys some slack. No, I think there's enough guilt to go around.
Sometimes, okay. Well, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not a good listener.
Just being a guy.
Yeah, I'm just being a guy.
And then lastly, fight fair. There's a proper way to fight. Get your point across.
There's absolutely. And what I mean by fight fair is that if you're fighting about one specific thing, just stay on that topic. Don't, and women are guilty of this, don't, and another thing.
Yeah.
And
7 months
oh, by
ago,
the
that
way,
time when you didn't take
and
the
you know, I
garbage.
didn't tell you, but it's really still annoying. That's not fighting fair, and then nothing ever gets resolved, okay? So stick to the topic at hand. If something else comes up, or if your partner brings something else up, say, hold on to that for a moment. We can talk about that another time, but this is the topic I want to speak about now. And then last thing is there's a misconception out there that you should never go to bed angry. Well, these people haven't been married for more than 5 minutes, okay? So sometimes you fight to the death because you think you're not supposed to be angry when you go to bed and it's supposed to be resolved. That's just not realistic. So agree to respectfully disagree. It's okay to go to bed angry, but then wake up and realize, okay, it's a new start. You have a new perspective. Things seem better after a good night's sleep,
Sure,
as
sleep
opposed to
on
up
it,
all
right?
night
That's what people say.
fighting.
Let me
Exactly.
sleep
Very
on
good.
it. baby.
You know that
let me
song.
sleep on it.
All right, hey,
Doctor, where
Patty.
can we find some more information? Your website?
My website, drpattyann.com, and I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm all over the place.
We'll find you
And she
there.
also does meatloaf karaoke. So thanks so much for joining us. Coming up today on the show.